Sifon, don't know the surname. Sifon, yeah, one of our staffs here at the reception there. Happy birthday to you. Was really shocked at your birthday pics there. Didn't look any bit like you. Happy birthday, and I wish you many more years of good health and God's blessings. That settled. Coming to the big talk for today. There's been this blame game going on recently, especially with the way the economy has been. Sanusi was the first to come out. As a former CBN governor, Sanusi said we should not be blaming the Tinubu-led administration for the current economic situation that we're experiencing. Of course, you know that the price of goods and commodities, services, everything is soaring. As at the last check, we hear that a bag of rice is approaching 77,000. And also as at the last check, we hear that a bag of cement is approaching almost 7,500. Am I correct?
8,000. Just go ahead.
8,000. Thank you very much. 8,000. I was just being corrected. So that means I'm not even updated because, of course, I may be working with yesterday's price, and you wake up this morning and then you get to see another price. Of course, that's what we experience. So this situation has caused a blame game. And Sanusi says we should blame the last administration for this, the current economic situation. Recently, Comrade Senator, I'd like to call him, Adams Oshomole, came out and also said the former president's reckless economic policies, I really wish I can bring that out so I can quote the man so you don't say it's Ike. I'd like to get that one out so you hear. I'd like to read verbatim exactly what Comrade Senator Adams Oshomole said, especially about the economy. And he's saying that it was because of Buhari's reckless policies. Yeah, found it. Give me your attention. I'll read from the Vanguard. As Nigerians gnash their teeth over the economic downturn, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, I've talked about that, Adams Oshomole, he has said we should not blame, President Tinubu for what's going on. I'm looking for the part there because both of them were joined together in this particular statement there. But so I don't take time in getting Oshomole, I found that part. Oshomole concurred with Sanusi. I'm reading from the Vanguard now. Oshomole said that Nigerians are currently suffering from the reckless policies of the former president Muhammadu Buhari. He recalled that he faulted some of the policies that were said to have been designed to dehumanize the population. Oshomole said in an interview on Sunday that the current hardship being witnessed under the current administration were the long-term consequences of those policies of Buhari's administration. I can go on and on, quoting the man for what he said, but the analysis is not mine to give. Joining me this morning is the State Director for the Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, Otwekon Franklin E. Song, to discuss this matter. Otwekon, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Captain of this flight. Good morning, listeners. Good to be with you, and happy Valentine's Day.
Hash Wednesday, you can add that to it as well.
Hash Wednesday, yeah.
Because, you won't just talk about the vows and forget about the hash. I know you can't wait to leave the program so you can take your baby boo, Mommy David, out.
Well, my wife and my family, we've prayed, we've thanked God for seeing another day, and that for us is sufficient.
And the vows is not going to be inclusive?
For us, vow is everyday thing. You love yourself, love your family, love those around you. Today, I placed call to persons I've not spoken to for a while. Just sat this morning, I listed out 10 persons at random, and I began to call them, and they were like surprised. Wow. That's for me, is vow. Because I've been able to remember persons I have not spoken to for a while, and I have also been able to touch some lives.
Did you credit their accounts?
Well, that is not for today's interview.
That is
not for today's interview.
Most important part of
but that is not for today's interview.
You're supposed to credit their accounts.
Not supposed. Love is something you show. It must not be today. It's something that you do on a regular basis. That is what I'm saying. The economy didn't just start today. It's been there.
The best vow gift you can give is to credit somebody's
well,
account.
That's why I said I wouldn't stay here on air and say I have done this. But in my own right, I have been able to touch lives of persons I have not touched, I have not spoken to for a while. That for me is Valentine for today.
Let's not bicker, so we don't join the bandwagon, especially the bickerings lately, occasioned by the current economic situation, where Oshomole has joined the fray of the people blaming the former president for the current situation. This blame game that we are beginning to experience, Tweak on Franklin's song, is that the way to go, especially with the current situation? Should we say that what we're going through is caused by the former president?
I responded to these questions in a sister radio program, I think on Monday, and I said clearly that I do not believe that blame games will take us anywhere. And this has been the antics of those that have been opportune to govern this country. They will always want to create excuses, and that for me is defeatist approach. They have already accepted defeat. Adams Oshomole was the national chairman of APC that brought in the President Muhammadu Buhari. He was one of the policy makers and decision makers of the party.
He campaigned as well.
He was the national chairman of the party that campaigned and brought in President Muhammadu Buhari into office. So he was a policy maker. He was the engine room for the government. So because the government is not in place, you are now you are now in another party. You have jumped ship and begin to throw blames and cast aspersion. That's not what I expected of a leader in the caliber of Adams Oshomole. That of Sanusi. Sanusi had issue with Buhari because it was during Buhari's regime that he was dethroned as the emir of Kano, and of course that could tie to his policies, his statement that he was making against Amajiri's policies that were being done by government. He was critical of the government. I cannot excuse either of them. My position is that government is a continuum. The president of Nigeria today, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was the national party leader, was the APC leader when President Buhari was the president. He was the leader, he was the alpha and omega in APC. He knew Nigerians' challenges, he knew our problems. He had been one man who had designed and said, it is my own turn to become the president. And he called it what do you call it again in your language, in your Yoruba language? So he said it was his own turn to become the president, and it has been given to him. He is not telling us the truth, and the truth is that the government is not prepared to cut the wastages we have in government. Corruption is still there. Lack of focus, lack of sufficient and good policies to drive the economy. You cannot, I was among those who had said that given the fact that the president is an activist in government, that he will be able to do good and be able to turn this around. Even though I never, supported, his campaigns, supported his policies, because I never really saw him making a clear-cut policies or statement of what he was going to do. What we keep on hearing were the flip side statement, like the town hall, all those comments that were coming that came out of his campaigns. We never really saw him making a clear-cut statement than renewed hope. Now we have come to the point of coming to give us this renewed hope. We are coming to hear it wasn't my fault. I came to inherit this. I inherited that. And within 6 months or within 7-8 months of the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are having corruption close to the presidency. We are having corruption close to the presidency. I have said this over time. Who is the Minister of Petroleum? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu today is the Minister of Petroleum. He stood at the Eagle Square and announced the withdrawal of fuel subsidy. Who sent him? Did he consult with stakeholders? Did he have his cabinet in place to advise him? Who advised him to go ahead and pronounce a statement when he was to, give an acceptance speech during his inaugural ceremony? That is point number one. Point number two, he promised that the refineries will be back to life in December. We are in February.
That was just one.
I am just saying, up to today, how many liters of fuel have been refined in Port Harcourt? Where is the CNG gas buses? Where is the CNG gas station that was part of the agreement that he had with the NLC TUC? Where are we coming from? Giving us palliative of rice. Rice is giving us food. Teach us how to feed. Give us the enabling environment. Under his watch, we are having massacre in Plateau, in other states, in Benue. We are having massacre. We are having insecurity even up to Abuja.
We had worse in the last administration.
Well, you are also joining the blame game. You are also joining the blame game, going back to the back. So because we had worse, we should have.
You're also doing the blame game.
I'm saying no. I am saying that. I am saying that within the 9 months, I'm not looking at what happened in the 8 years. You are going back to the 8 years. We have left that 8 years that we are looking at. Going forward, there should be an improvement. You don't govern the country under the flame side of excuses. You build on excuses. This is what you made. Tell us what you have done. What have you done?
It is sad that you do not make progress to where you're going to without looking back at where you're coming from. Otwekong, forgive me, but I'm going to throw a shade at you. You never expected this curveball, but you should take part of the blame. Otwekong, you were here, and you have said many times, although you have apologized, but I think I should blame you personally from me, because you said yourself, you were one of those persons who went to Daura to go and force the former president, who was not exactly willing to come and contest. You were one of those people who went to his place in Daura, Katsina State, and you begged him alongside others. Otwekong, you were in this country during the era of this cashless policy. Some of the very, very inimical anti-people, anti-progress policies were in the last administration. This administration is 9 months old. I'm not holding breath. But don't you think it's rather too early to begin this blame? Because if we want to really blame, I think we should be blaming you and the former president.
I remember one of my appearances here. I gave you a little story of a vulture that went and stood on a tree close to a Catholic church. Let me leave out the church, close to a church. And then on a Sunday morning, members of the church started coming to church. They drank Holy Communion, put their hands in their chests, so holy, and the vulture was just watching them. He saw them, and after the end of the service, they all left. In the night, midnight, the same vulture went and perched on a tree in the evil forest, and the people started coming for meeting. Midnight, I wouldn't give a name to that meeting. Now, in that same meeting, the vulture that was in the morning hours at the tower that saw these people who came for morning service are the ones who he was the one that also saw these people who came for that midnight fellowship. And the vulture said, the same people that I saw in the morning in a church who were holy are the people who are here doing incantation in the midnight. So all the people who are today lamenting, complaining that the government of Buhari did this, did that, are the people who are today in the government of Tinubu. Tell me, just mention one name of one person who wasn't in the government of Buhari, either in one way or the other.
Well,
mention one name.
I can mention many names.
No, just mention one.
Hadi Sirika.
Former
aviation.
Has he blamed the past? Is he blaming the past government?
He hasn't blamed.
I'm telling you that those who are I'm saying those who are complaining today, who are blaming the past government. Mention one person who wasn't in that past government.
Sanusi was not.
Sanusi, I told you he was an emir, and he fell out with the government. An emir is part of a government, part of an emirate is a government. Mention who again? Adams was the party national chairman, a major stakeholder. Mention again. None of them that are coming out today to do these blame games that wasn't in the past government. We should be talking about way forward. Yes, accepted. I have come out openly within the past in the first 4 years of the government of Buhari. I had apologized. That is in the first 4 years, and I even canvassed and made advocacies against the second term. And I said clearly that the Buhari that I knew in the 80s. Of course, if you're in this country in the 80s when Buhari Diagbo, nobody could, believe that what we saw in the past 8 years of Buhari's government was what we will expect. I had been around in the 80s, so I knew what we saw in the Buhari's government in the 80s. Now it is now clear that it was Diagbo that was actually the whole brain behind it. It wasn't even him, because I had thought that being someone who believed in transparency, accountability, and believed in fairness, that when he becomes the president of this country, owing to what we had seen, what the past government of PDP was doing, that the difference would be there. So when I joined those who went to his house in Daura in the 2000 to go and plead that he should come and contest, was because I had thought that the Buhari I knew in the 80s was the Buhari that I was talking to in the 2000. Now he came on board and disappointed me. And I started leading a campaign against his second term. The Nigerians and politics being what it is, he had his way and got the second term. Now, having got to the second term, what has he done? The whole country is in a mess. But I have said I will not be tempted to join the fray of throwing blames, because government is a continuum. As I speak to you now, the president is planning for second term. That is the truth about it. He's not telling us the truth. As I'm speaking to you now, all what he's doing today, machineries on ground, campaign, this, that, they are all towards his second term. Is he going to resign before then? Will he resign? He won't resign.
Does it make any
and
sense?
And he's throwing blames of the past government.
Does it make any sense if you are in power, you are yet to settle in office?
Must you continue till the end of the government when the government is falling?
Hold on, Otwekon. You know, sometimes you could have a rough start and have a beautiful end. I'm sure you've heard of that.
I have not heard. You see, a tree that will be fruitful, that will bear so much fruit, you will know from the beginning, from the root.
That may not be correct. You're not a soil scientist.
I'm just telling you that our local parable says a tree that will bear good fruit, you will know from the root of it. The root here is the foundation. The president appointed persons that perhaps are not giving him the sound economic advice. Look at what is happening. When he came on board, dollar was how much? Dollar was less than 500. Today, the dollar is on a free fall. What is the inflation rate? You are mentioning price of cement. Let me give you the update. I did a survey before coming here. Nigerian rice that you are mentioning, a bag is 72,000. A bag. Custard pearl of Nigerian rice is 6,000. Iron beans, custard pearl is 4,000. Fresh tomato, custard pearl is 3,000. A pack of null is 1,200. Tiger nut is 7,000 per custard pearl. Millet is 2,500 per custard pearl. Guinea corn is 3,500 per custard pearl. Gari is 2,000 per custard pearl. Crayfish is 4,000 per custard pearl. Palm oil is 4,800 per custard per 4 liter. Golden Moor is 4,000 per custard pearl. Cornflakes is 3,500 per custard pearl. Loctorich is 13,500 per custard pearl. Oat is 6,000 per custard pearl. Tomato is 3,500 per custard pearl. Tatashi is 2,500 per custard pearl. Shambo is 2,500 per custard pearl. Pepper is 3,000 per custard pearl. Onions is 2,500 per custard pearl. Irish potato is 3,000 per custard pearl. Green beans is 2,000 per kilo. Green pea is 1,500 per kilo. Green pepper is 2,000 per kilo. Cabbage is 800 per ball. That is per ball of a cabbage. Carrot is 1,000 per kilo. Ginger is 3,500 per custard pearl. Nigerian garlic is 3,500 per mudu. Spring onions is 200 each. Beetroot is 1,000 each. 1,000 each. Watermelon is 1,500 each, depending on the size. Melon is 8,500 per custard pearl. Mature broiler is 6,200, depending on the size. Egg, a crate is 3,700. King's virgin oil is 1,000 per liter, a sachet of it. Spaghetti is 800. Macaroni is 800. This tomato is 1,100. Sachet milk, sachet salt is 1,000, is 100 or 150. Sugar cube is one cube. One packet is 950. Turmeric oil is 1,000. To cook 4 liter soup is of afang soup is 25,000 naira. Same thing goes to 4 liter of stew. Same thing goes to 4 liter of okra soup, 4 liter of editan soup, 4 liters of atama soup, 4 liter of edikaikong, 4 liter of melon soup. The same price. Now building materials, you are mentioning cement. Cement is 8,000. I bought one even this morning, a bag. Sharp sand is 50,000, depending on your distance. Sharp sand that was 25,000 now is now double the price, and this is 15 tons. The small truck. To hire a mason to do a job for you is 7,000 per day, depending on your distance. A labor that will assist the mason will charge you 3,500 per day, depending on your distance. Price of building materials is going higher on a daily basis. No fixed prices for transportation today in this country. Cameroon zinc, the urban planning is 275,000. 50 sheets of it. 3 inches nail a bag is 22,500. Same thing goes to 4 inches nail a bag. Zinc nail a pack is 6,000. Zinc nail casket is 900. Rafter is 2,200 a length of rafter. Poline is 700 a length. Ceiling board is 3,800 each. So Ike, tell me where we go. And this price is for today. By tomorrow, these prices will change. What are we saying?
I want to ask a question.
Where are we going to from here? And then we will get blames from our leaders. Who does that?
Otwekong, I want to ask a question. First off, I really must thank you for painstakingly going to the market to find out.
I speak with facts.
Yeah, I know. I'm not questioning it. At some point, I'm even tempted to ask if you want to open a restaurant business.
No, but you must get these facts.
I know. Because you're very specific as to how a liter of this is sold. Maybe you have plans to open a restaurant.
You see, I am a family man. We must know these facts.
I know.
Yes.
But let me ask you. I thought that in all of this, you would have told us this is this from this.
Okay.
A bowl of tomatoes is 500 from 300.
Okay.
We will now look at the economic indices that has brought about the astronomical increase, right? I am not faulting your market analysis or your market survey. I haven't even got the time to do what you've done, so I commend you.
Thank you.
Right? I commend you. However, if we have to, take or leave, I know that it's a normal thing with politicians to blame themselves. I mean, Buhari did it. Buhari spent an entire term blaming Jonathan. So it's not new. It's a regular practice. It's a culture for politicians to blame themselves. However, put facts on the table. Otwekong, is it not safe to say that the president must have inherited an almost comatose economy? Is it not safe to say that? And then he's struggling to get the economy reticulated.
It's very unsafe to say that the president met a very, call it, what do you call it again?
An almost comatose
economy. It is very unsafe to say that.
Why?
President got handover notes from his predecessor. He alone saw what is in the handover note. I think we made public.
During the campaign, he berated the former president, and many times he did criticize him during his campaign. He made it clear that some of the economic policies are anti-progress. He said they don't know how to do, they don't know how to think. He said it in the campaign.
You see, I don't want to be tempted or to be dragged into the political, the political and the political that is happening in this country. I am a realist. I believe in good governance. Politics is supposed to bring good governance and development to Nigerians. That is why we are demanding for good governance and accountability. Now, when you begin to talk about the past government, look at the budget of the National Assembly. Look at the budget of the presidency. What is the office of the First Lady doing in the budget?
But was it not there?
I'm asking you a question.
Has it not
Under which law? Good. So he made a faulty, like you are saying, a comatose economy. He's continuing with that. What are we saying? He made a comatose economy that has drained the resources. I have said this before. President Bola Tinubu is one man that can even start this country without getting a dime as a reward, a dime as emolument or salary, because God has been so faithful and so kind to him. I have made this statement over and over that those whom the gods have been, those whose pockets have been cracked for by the benevolent spirit should not forget to be humble. Our president today has made it. He alone can be able to pay his cabinet members from his own resources.
Are you not overestimating?
I am telling you that the president alone, I have been able to interact with him. I have met him not because he's president, before he became president. He is a progressive. He alone was the only man standing in AD when the Young Party had all defected and joined the PDP. The first person to go was Bola Ige, that was appointed Minister of Justice, and that was to deplete the stronghold of the AD in Lagos, in West. But he remained. The first thing he did was to create 44 area council to develop the state. So what we are saying here is that the president has been so fortunate to today become the president, and he should do things that will impact on the life of the ordinary people on the street. I saw a report of protest from the north, and this is where he got his chunk of vote. Nobody today goes to farm again because of insecurity. Yes. Today, corps members are afraid to be posted to some states because of insecurity. Today, buses are being hijacked on their way, on transit. And those bandits don't even know who are in the occupant. That's it. We barely have food to eat. Coming down here, I was driving down, I saw people, young boys are becoming scavengers. I go to the streets today, move to traffic point. You see people who are able-bodied becoming beggars. I mean, what are we saying? And then people are living in affluence, making budget. The senators gave 160,000 budget for their cars. 160 million, yes, for their cars. And reps 150 million for their cars. Only cars. And people are dying in their homes. Even when the president or even when the federal government was gracious to say we are releasing palliative worth 100 million to House of Rep members to go and give their constituents. How many of them have been able to do it in Akwa Ibom? Only 3 of them. That is Right Honorable Unyimeidem, Honorable Clement Jumbo, and Senator Ekok Thompson. These 3 have been able to come back to give account of this palliative released to them by the federal government. Where are the rest? And then when you talk about poverty, have you gone to the local government areas to see? That is the center of poverty in this country. Go to local government and see what is happening there. The chairmen are living in the headquarters because nothing to write home about. So we must talk about reforms that will completely touch from local government level to state and to the federal level. I even propose that we should go back to a system where we have true federalism, where the states and local government can, develop their resources and then pay tax to the center, making the center weak. I even propose that we can even have a government where you have the regions being powerful, like we had in those days when you have the Michael Opera, we had the Awo, and then you have the Tafa Belewa, and then you have a region,
something like the bicameral.
That's it. And then the center becomes weak. Then you had Zik as the ceremonial, president, who was just there on a ceremonial basis. But the region were able to compete. You had the Cocoa, you had the Granite Pyramid, and the rest. And this were used to develop their various regions and pay taxes to the center. That is what we are saying. Why can't we have state police? Why? Why can't we remove the local government from the hands of the process of the state government and make them independent and make them to become strong and viable? Because the poverty starts from the local government level. But here you have the governors who sit on the local government council and control their funds using section 162 to sub 5 joint account. When the funds come from Abuja, they tie it there and then don't add peanut to them. Recently, I saw, I think, Senator Abamoru move a motion that is on the Senate that any state that has no chairman elected by law should not be given funds. But is that workable? It can't be, that cannot work because the law is the law, which is the constitution. So what are we simply saying? The president should begin to put out reforms that will reform, things and institutions. You have over 68 items in the exclusive list. The president will sit alone and decide. You have only 13 of them at the concurrent list. Today, to have seaport, you must get president approval. To have airport, president must approve. You have federal roads, you have waterways, you have everything you have, aviation, power sector, everything rests in the hands of the president. But can't we now begin to, withdraw most of these items and put it in concurrent and residual list so that the governors and chairmen can be able to exercise their own powers and develop the local government level and the state level? Can't we remove CX and have INEC do council pools in this country? Can't we? This is what the president was even saying when he was in the opposition in the AD. This was what the AD was campaigning in those days. Reforms. Today, where are we? So this hunger we are seeing, this poverty we are seeing will continue to persist until the president have a think tank that would think outside the box and do the extraordinary to get us out of this tunnel that we are.
All right, Otwego Franklin, the song. I must thank you for your analysis. You believe that we should not be blaming anybody.
That's it. Take charge and then correct those things. That is why I voted for him.
But take or leave, you must blame somebody.
Ike,
you have to blame somebody.
The way to start blaming, you have accepted defeat.
Somebody.
You have accepted defeat. Now, those you are blaming,
I will blame.
You see, Ike, those you are blaming, are they not party members?
I will blame Nigerians.
For doing what? Who voted for this in the first place? Let me not even say so.
Have a role.
Which role do you have?
You have a role.
Ike,
this blame
did my vote count?
Cannot end.
Did my vote count?
Your vote counted.
Who told you that?
Your vote counted.
Who told you that? I have said this.
Go to court.
Ike,
carry INEC to court and tell them that your vote did not count, but I blame you and I blame me. This blame game is on us.
This go to court syndrome is why Nigeria is still where we are today. I have told you that we need a reform that will make our institution very stronger than men. Now today you have powerful men and weak institutions. Who told you that my vote counted? Who told you? INEC came up with a result that did not reflect what we voted for. And here you are telling me that my vote counted. I have told you here that the laws are made to favor the powerful.
You know the reason why I will blame you still.
What?
You see this blame game? Hold on. You see this blame game? We're all we walked into this with our eyes open. Are
you saying that? Are you now saying we have better?
Let nobody absolve himself of this blame. When I and the NEC did what they did you file any suit against INEC? That is your blame.
You see, Ike.
That is your blame.
Ike.
Did you carry any placard to I and NEC?
Okay.
That you did not, but you're here, you're saying your vote did not count.
Can I now?
When the Supreme Court gave their verdict, what did you do?
Can I now explain? Can I now respond?
Yes.
Good. You see, when you have powerful men and weak institutions, the result is what you're getting today. Simply put, yes, I have said here over time that we need a complete overhaul of our system. Now you have INEC that is almost being tied to the apron string of the presidency. INEC has done elections. Have you ever heard anywhere INEC has been proved after elections? Will the INEC chairman or president or chairman or the board be proved? Instead they will give him more appointments. Have you ever heard where INEC?
It will not change the fact that people like you spoke. It will not change the fact that civil society spoke.
You see, our voices will not change the powers that be. You see, INEC came up with a timeline, a guideline, and roll out its own act that says we are going to conduct election based on these guidelines. Where those guidelines follows, it didn't follow. You see, I have said here before that Nigerian democracy, unfortunately, the voters have 5% role. The INEC have 20% role. The security agencies have 30% role. The rest role belongs to the court. Like that's why you say go to court. So you can have someone who did not win on ground and will go to court. Court will not announce the person a winner because the court has a bigger role to play. And don't forget that even when you go to court, the court will not hang on technical issues instead of looking at the substance of the case. How many cases have been overturned at the level of Supreme Court? How many of such cases? Mention them and I'll tell you the party that they belong to.
Otueko, you said we should not do blames.
That is why I'm saying that is why I'm telling you that I did not vote for those that are here today.
Okay, so if you
so don't blame me that I have a role to play. Yes, my role to play is to come here and tell the Nigerians that this government has failed.
When I and the NEC refused to follow the Electoral Act that they gave us,
will I have thought to self-help?
Why did you not carry placard? Where were the civil society? Otueko, you will not run away from this blame.
You see,
you will not. You share in this blame.
The role you must understand our role.
The blame game is for everybody.
Yes, you see, Ike, you must understand our role as the civil society groups. We are not to carry placard, barricade roads, block government house, destroy government properties, and destroy roads. No. Our duty is to criticize. Our duty is to engage government constructively. And it is left for the government to sift out the good and sound opinion that we have. Now, when you said, what was my role? Will I have carried placard and stall the pool from holding? You see coup in Niger Republic. You see coup in Mali. And the rest. This is how it all came about. The people became so impatient to wait again. They now took to the street. Before you know it, the military now take over. So what we believe is that even at the point of having a worse democracy, we hope that it's better than having the best military government. Okay. So going to the street to occupy the street and stall the transition process would have led us to consequences that would have been so disastrous.
I have not asked that you stall because
when you said go to court or go to the street,
I understand.
Street to do what on the street? We're going to engage the government.
But while we sit here and we blame the current leader, you cannot absolve the system.
The system
you cannot absolve the leaders before now. So everybody has a portion of the blame. Take or leave. The entire blame should not be heaped on the current president. Because this problem that we are suffering has been a long time coming. It started from somewhere. Someone refused to do their job. And Nigerians, maybe they spoke or maybe they didn't speak. Or maybe we're hypocritical. Or maybe we said, no, my person dead and we kept quiet. And now we want to put the blame on the current president? Everybody is to be blamed.
Ike, the buck stopped on Mr. President's table.
I
agree. He has the right to hire and fire.
I agree.
He has the right to make policies that will better this country. He has the right to refuse to make policies that will better this country. That's the truth about it. The buck stopped on his table. Who are his managers? What do they want him to see? It means the kind of policy he would dole out. If you have managers who are press singers, who don't want you to listen, like now I'm shouting here. Is he hearing me? They will tune him to channels. They will tune him to other channels to listen to where they are praising him.
Well, that's
the truth about it.
Let's get the listener in.
Ideal, they ought to be his manager that will pick what we are saying here and play it for him to listen to. Look, in Akwa Ibom State, somebody is shouting that there is hunger over there, and then he will listen to it. But right now, if he's to listen, they will tune to a channel where they are praising him and saying he has given so much land, he has given land to Super Eagle, he has done this, he has given medals, he has given them a award. This is what they want him to see, to hear. Truth is that he has to cut himself out from psychophantasy and allow the reality, which is what we are saying, to be heard by him, and then he cannot guide him to give us policy that will give us good governance.
Okay. Let me take some contributions quickly because, of course, commercials, plenty of commercials will be taking our time. And so I better start bringing in the calls now. 0906-000-4945. Forgive my speed. 0906-000-5945. Text and WhatsApp, I'll take only a few because, there are tons of commercials I need to attend to. And I'm sorry, we may not have the luxury of time. So let's do this already. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, yes, passenger, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say that those people that I can say. If you read, it is difficult to fight corruption or intentional by because of the one. He mentioned Adam Hussein as a former University governor, as those who led the governor to take the federal government to court to share the express rules of government, which the fight succeeded. Then, we don't need to talk about the role as a former national general. Okay, now, we talk about the Sanusi. When he was governor of Central Bank, he printed 5,000 naira notes. But by the time he took it to the national assembly for approval, the whole thing was empty. And the money got up. And he was putting to 33 of the Central Bank Act that the federal government has no right to interfere.
All right. Passenger, try and wrap it up. Try and wrap it up, sir.
Say that whatever we are talking now is the state court is the woman of all of this. That is why
all right.
Of this skyrocketed.
All right.
And we fail the government.
Well, I must thank you. All right. Well, passenger, thank you. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Thank you very much. So I can take some other persons. I'll be joining calls and messages. I'll be very fast because time is not our friend. Good morning, Captain Iko Twekong. Happy Valentine's. Engineer Zana from Itimeko. Senator Shomalan, APC government put blame failure on 16 years of PDP government. For me, it's laughable statement because my late father told me, a parable that if you call a lazy man for a job, if he's unable to perform of that job, he will tell you that the cause of that is from the whole. So that is what is happening in the APC government. Quote me right. If I may ask the 90% elected office politicians in this present government now, from which party? So let the APC government try to stop all this propaganda and bring Nigerians please don't use abbreviations. It is very difficult. It's a lot of work. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Captain Ike.
Morning to you, welcome.
This is David from the US.
Mr. David, go ahead.
Yeah, who to blame in what we are facing in this country today is number one, INEC. Because INEC has flooded all rules and regulations that guided them. The neutrality and independence that is supposed to do. Another group to blame in what we are facing today in Nigeria is the presidency. The president says, if you get a former president, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to think. Now he has been installed. Now, let him show how to think. I'm sure how to do here. So that we see, so that we can escape the something we are passing through. Another group they blame is the people. Because people have become so docile, even when they are not the different person that is not fought for. We know who we fought for.
Well, all right, Mr. David. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Everyone takes the blame. It's not just the president. Everyone shares in the blame. Utwekong, I'll be asking your parting shot now, but let me read this one. It says, good morning, Captain and Utwekong. Summarily walk. It's shameful of our leaders to continue blaming their predecessors for their inability to perform and deliver. I'm sure such leaders were asked not to contest owing to the fact that their predecessors already made the country bad. They would have rejected such calls immediately. They promised to change the narrative and not to blame. Leaders prefer solutions to problem and not blame. These people should allow us to hear something. Anyone that can't deliver should resign. Let's get your parting shots. There's no time.
Very simple. You see, like I have said before, the blame game is intended to, launch a campaign, a second-term campaign for Mr. President. Simply put, because they will tell you the 4 years is not enough to correct what was done by the past government. So let's give them another 4 years.
Well,
so what they are doing now is a campaign gimmick.
4 years is still actually
it's a campaign gimmick. Within 1 year, what have you done? So what they are doing today, the Sanusis of this world, the Adam Fishimuli of this world are launching a second-term campaign for President Tinubu. Tinubu should be allowed to concentrate and give us what he has promised to give us. Where is the renewed hope? Today, the country is now governed from
All right.
govern from bottom to top. Bottom to okay, top bottom. Yeah, I want to put it. Let the president sit down, go back to the drawing board, and deliver the goodies to Nigeria. Leave this campaign gimmick which they have launched, which is not going to fly to anywhere.
All right. Otwekong is the state director of the Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network. It's Valentine's Day. Otwekong, you can now off your mic and take your wife.
Mic is off.
Go and do your Valentine's. My name is Ike, actually. We'll get some commercials off.